Hey guys, Tomboy61, and I'm sure you've heard the news. Tier 8 has made its way, or is making its way, to World of Warships Legends. However, this gives us a bit of an issue. We don't know currently how it's planned to be implemented in the game. I'm recording this a couple days before it will post. My luck, by the time it posts, we will already know how it's going to be implemented, and this video may be completely wrong. But in order to prevent ourselves from falling into what I would call the legendary tier problem, where there's only one ship in the class and then we slowly build out that class until it starts to become viable, I've put together a list of 5 ships I think Wargaming could easily bring from tier 7 up to tier 8. We'll go ahead and talk through those 5 ships here. If you have any ideas of ships you think could be brought up, let me know down in the comments below, and if they would need certain buffs to get there, make sure you let me know. And the first one I want to talk about is right in front of you here. It's the Georgia. What can I say? A fast Iowa with big old guns that fire quickly. I think the caliber benefits that Georgia receives means that it can go toe-to-toe, and it is, I think, a little bit above, a step above her peers in tier 7, which is why I think she could probably be brought in to tier 8. I think she just has everything you would want, and does represent kind of that small step forward. I don't know if she would need a little bit of an armor upgrade, but as it stands right now, I think Georgia is one of the prime battleships that could be brought there. Coming in at number 4 is going to be Udachi. Yes, the much maligned Udachi. She is a very stealthy little destroyer, one that can still hit like a truck, and I think Udachi doesn't need any changes at all in order to be brought forward, right? You can get her concealment down below 5 kilometers, which is powerful at any tier, and I think bringing Udachi up to be more in line, to be up in tier 8, where she's going to experience the most radar cruisers of anything, is a good balancing factor for her, right? Udachi right now can find her way into tier 6, where there aren't a ton of radar cruisers, but if she makes her way all the way up to basically exclusively fight tier 7, tier 8, and legendary ships, then she is going to have a very high chance of encountering those radar cruisers, and it's going to make it a little bit more difficult and kind of balance the Udachi's natural stealthiness out. So that's why I'm putting Udachi as number 4 on this list. Next up, number 3 is a ship that I am not a huge fan of, and it's going to be the Mainz. Mainz right now, I feel like, has the potential to be in a really weird place, and that's because, as we know, Weimar is currently slated and going to be moved up to tier 7, which is where the Mainz currently lives. Now, personally, they do kind of fill the same role to me, but right now I definitely prefer Weimar over Mainz. I think if you were to buff the Mainz a little, maybe make it a little more tanky, give it access to what would potentially be, what, a 5th mod slot, I think it could raise its power and find a very nice home in tier 8, and then also it makes it so that it doesn't feel right what it will feel like as a weird offshoot duplicate of the Weimar. So I think Mainz is a great contender just to make it actually differentiate itself in its new environment. I think that one is one that could really deal and use for that tier 8 upgrade. The next ship is one I'm betting you're not seeing coming, and that is Azuma. Yeah, I know. It's not exactly the best ship, but hear me out on this one. First things first, Azuma and Alaska need to be near peers, right? They were designed, Azuma was designed and Alaska was kind of designed as her counterpart, as a counter to her, as a ship that would stand in the same class. But do you feel like Azuma and Alaska are in the same world? I certainly don't. Now, we do know already Azuma is about to receive a pretty massive buff, getting a much better shell grouping, boosting up its AP and HE damage. Like, there are some things coming Azuma's way that could really buff Azuma. Will these buffs be something that could bring it up to tier 8? I'm not 100% sure. I feel like Azuma may need just a little bit more armor, but we do know that there's already a buff coming on its way, and maybe with those, it could stand to become the next great ship, the next great cruiser. I'm not saying bringing it up to legendary tier. I'm just saying bringing it closer up to the ship that was kind of mirrored to the kind of that Azuma-Alaska relationship could be cool, but also would make it so that, you know, those two ships fight each other. Because as it stands right now, it won't anymore once they implement tier 8. And the final ship I want to talk about bringing up from tier 7 up to tier 8 is the Sommers. The Sommers, you know it, the wonderful recent campaign ship. I think this torpedo boat is extremely strong, and I know we've kind of had a theme as the 2 destroyer picks on my side have both been torpedo boats, but I think that's because of just how much power they have. Sommers does really feel right now like a tier 7 Shimakaze, and let's be clear, it could probably move itself up to tier 8 and not feel any real ill effects on it. I think Sommers is an extremely potent little destroyer, and basically could easily make its way and survive easily up at tier 8. So, guys, those are the 5 ships. What do you guys think? I know right now, or at least at the time I'm making this video, we don't know how Wargaming is going to implement tier 8. Are they going to kind of reshuffle the tech trees, maybe bring in, as my list here, I went with exclusively campaign ships, right? These are all ships that are exclusively campaign ships. Therefore, I feel like they could probably get away with bringing them up a tier by buffing them. People won't, I would hope, not get too angry about these ships either being buffed or moved up, just because, you know, yes, we pay for the campaigns, but it's a significantly different cost than if you were to buy a premium. I understand there's the whole Weimar drama that is currently going around, or that did occur. This feels like it could be a little bit different, and the one thing I am worried about is if we don't fill out tier 8 instantly or with enough ships, if we're only going to add one ship at a time, we're setting ourselves up for the legendary problem, right? When there was only like Yamato at the tier, and there was just that weird time because they added a ton of battleships, and then they added a ton of destroyers, and then we didn't really have the cruisers to counter them. And right now, after a year and a half of legendary ships being in the game, legendary tier finally feels filled out. And I fear with tier 8, if they are only going to add ships very piecemeal, like, you know, only 1 or 2 ships every update or 2, it could feel broken. It could not feel great for the player. So I'm really hoping that we see a different way of doing this from them, and that we see it filled out quickly. And I think this is a method in a way that establishes it so that they can get out there, they can fill out that tier, they can make it feel good. Because importantly, I love the idea of tier 8, but if it's implemented poorly, I think ultimately it will be a bad decision. It will be a bad game design. And, well, only time will tell. And like I said, my luck, by the time you're hearing this, they've already kind of gone over it, and I'm just dead wrong. But, you know, I can still worry that Wargaming's going to mess something up, because we all know that sometimes our favorite companies don't do things the way we would, and we can all be worried for the game together. Anyways, guys, that's today's video. If you liked the video, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. See ya.